I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, the Chuckle Wobbles is a heartwarming tale about spreading joy and positivity to those in need. The story follows two Chuckle Wobbles, Giggle and Cackle, on their mission to bring happiness to the sad and dreary planet of Mopus by solving a mysterious riddle in a temple surrounded by bamboozle woods. It's written by Prue McDonald. We're delighted to have her on Spotlight here today. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put Prue in the spotlight. And we ask those watching at home to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. Prue, thanks so much for being our guest.
My pleasure.
Loved your book. It creates this unique world. It reminds me of like a Harry Potter world or, an Alice in Wonderland type of world. It's so imaginative. Tell the folks at home a little bit what the Chuckle Wobbles are all about.
So the Chuckle Wobbles are all about the importance of happy moments in our lives and how those happy moments can get us through those times that overwhelm us. So that's the basis of the story, because I think that all of us have the capacity to be happy, but it gets overwhelmed by sadness, it gets hidden. But, like you see people taking photographs and capturing happy moments in their time. And we have memories that also record all those happy moments in our life. And those memories are cumulative. So one happy moment becomes another happy moment. I'd like to think of it as like a garden of flowers, where every happy moment is a flower. And if you plant all your happy moments, you have this incredible garden that you can go back to when you're feeling overwhelmed by life and sadness or whatever happens to you. And remember that there were times when you did have good times. Yeah. And that really builds a lot of resilience. And
absolutely.
I want
thinking back to the time when you were happy will make you happy. I mean, so much of what we feel in here is controlled by what we think up here.
So much so. Yeah. And so why not have children? Why not teach children this at a very early age? I don't discover my happiness moments until later, when I was in a tragic situation, So why not teach children now that there are happy moments in your life? You need to look for them. You need to be aware of them. You need to enjoy them, because I think lots of happy moments just pass us by. We're surrounded by them and we can create our own happy moments, but we focus often on the negativity, which is what the doldrums do. The doldrums are always mumbling and grumbling, and life is just terrible.
But we all should steer clear of those people in our lives. There are people out there who are chronic complainers, and there's such a phenomenon as negative contagion that it's easy to get into this spiral of this is bad, this is no good, these people aren't smart, they don't know what they're doing. I sound like the average disgruntled person in a workplace, and nothing sucks the joy, the energy, the enthusiasm out of life than, that type of personality.
Exactly. Yeah. And you do get into a cycle of negativity, and it attracts more negative things into your life for some reason. So I'm thinking
exactly. Well, it's almost like you talk about the book, The Secret. What you put out there is what you get back. If you put out joy and happiness, that's generally what'll come back to you. Who's your intended audience for this book?
Really, children. I'm hoping as young as 6, and to maybe 12 years old. I think 6-year-olds can't read it, but they can look at the pictures, because the pictures also very much tell the story. I think I have a wonderful illustrator who, so the pictures relate very much to the story. You could almost get the story from the pictures. So I'm hoping for a younger audience through the pictures as well.
And I think the parents will enjoy reading it as well. I mean, there's a lot of storybooks out there that are, not so fun to read to kids, but this is one of them that you might actually learn something about yourself while reading this book.
Well, that'd be wonderful. Yes. Yeah.
That'd be a bonus.
Yeah,
where did you come up with the inspiration for these names, these characters, this planet Mopus where all the sad people live?
I think I just have a very imaginative mind. And the reason I love writing children's books is that you can become a child, but you have the experience of being an adult. So you can have the messages coming through. But I think very much like a child.
That's good. If you can maintain the good parts of being a child into adulthood, I think that's the secret to a happy life, a successful life, and absolutely a creative life.
Absolutely. Yes.
I
Yes.
mean,
I
because it
think
seems like the
you
goal
have
of
to
most school teachers is to drive that creative spark out of you, you know.
That's so true.
You know, they
Yes.
just schools fail people who are individuals and who are people who are creative. It's just, you know, they need everybody to be in a line, in order, reciting back what they're told. They got 25, 30 kids, I understand it, but it doesn't serve a lot of people very, very well. But your book certainly does. It brings to the forefront the importance of spreading joy, spreading happiness, being positive. So I think you're onto something there. Is this your first work as a children's author? Tell me a little bit about your work as a writer.
Um, no, the first book was called Stargazer, which has been out for a couple of years. And that's also, it's about more about the friendship and the importance of nature. It's about our little star sprite who lives in a garden, and it's actually set here in New South Wales in my grandmother's garden, and how she is born into this world and she doesn't know anything about herself, and she has to discover who she is by the creatures around her, which is very much like children. You know, they have to discover who they are, not who they're being told they are or the input from outside, but who they are within themselves. And it's basically a story about that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you mentioned before that you live in a rainforest. How did you happen to come about living in a rainforest?
It just so happened that my husband brought this piece of land in the middle of nowhere. It had nothing on it, and but he just loved the rainforest and loved the idea of owning a rainforest. And we just used to come here for holidays in a tent. Then we had a shed, and now we have a house with
That's
a room.
amazing. So it's grown. Now,
Yeah,
how close are your nearest neighbors in this rainforest?
a long way away. We have no neighbors. Yes, yeah.
So I assume you have no city water, no city sewer, no city. Do you have electric?
Now we do
Obviously,
have
you have internet.
electricity.
You're there.
Yeah, no, we definitely have electricity, and we have tank water. Yeah, so we're all set up. We're very comfortable. But
Wonderful.
it's nice just being surrounded by nature, and we have wombats wandering by, and wallabies and rabbits.
Oh, sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds great. It's just intriguing. You know, I never met anybody who lived in a rainforest before, so I had to ask my obligatory questions. Are you thinking about a sequel to the Chuckle Wobbles? Tell me a little bit about that. You thinking about making this a series, perhaps?
Absolutely. In fact, it's already in progress. I've already written a sequel where we have a look at the Chuckle Wobbles go back to their planet Mirth. And then I take them through all the fun things that they do, because I want children to understand what happy moments are and what comprises a happy moment. So there's every chapter has a little lesson about what a happy moment is. And then I've got a journal that follows on to that to encourage children to journal their happy moments or draw or put a photo in or whatever, so that they can look back later in life and say, oh, look at those things that happened to me as a child. I did have some happy times. You know, we journal as adults and we do diaries as children, but I really want to focus on just putting in your happy moments. So they should be coming out this year for sure, probably
Wonderful.
April, May, something like that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Tell the folks at home what the magical book that the Chuckle Wobbles are keepers of.
Sorry, can you just say that again?
Isn't there a magical book in the Chuckle Wobbles that they are keepers of?
Oh, absolutely. Sorry. Yes.
Yep.
There's a book that transport them. So they have this magical book that they found within the caverns of their planet, and it transports them through space. So the Chuckle Wobbles are innately happy because they live on this planet that's surrounded by beautiful crystals, and they believe the crystals give them this ability to be happy. And then they want to share that happiness, and they travel throughout space to all the planets. Maybe they'll come to Earth one day, I don't know, and help people, the beings on the planets, become happy beings and release the happiness within their hearts. The belief that happiness lives with everybody's hearts, but it just gets covered over with negativity. Yeah.
Well, hopefully they do land on our planet, because I think they're desperately needed here for sure.
We could need some. Yeah.
Have you envisioned this as a TV series or a movie, whether it's animated or live action?
I think it it would make a lovely animation, that's for
Yes.
sure. For a movie, I think it has the capacity to do that.
Mhm.
Yes, and I think the characters can be extended. I can see many books coming out of this, teaching children about happiness and how to overcome negativity. Yes, I'm hoping so. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I can see children being fascinated with the names alone. Little kids like to say things like Chuckle Wobbles and Bamboozle and Blubber and, all of that stuff. It's kind of the fun of being a child. They can just, have you read the book to kids at maybe a library or something like that?
No, to be honest, I haven't got around to doing that. Yeah, so I haven't had a reaction back from children yet.
There's not too many public libraries in the middle of the rainforest, so you're
Not too
excused.
many, no.
Okay, well, it's a wonderful book. It is written by Prue McDonald. It is called The Chuckle Wobbles. It is available anywhere you buy books. You can download it onto your Kindle even. Get the hard copy. That's my recommendation. Show it to your kids. Have that joy of reading with them. Let them look at the wonderful illustrations. It's a fantastic read. They won't forget about Giggle and Cackle, and they'll be waiting for more adventures for Prue to write. Prue McDonald, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you so much, Logan. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.